Good
Good
morning.
morning. That was so good.
Listen, we're
That
we're
was
making it
good.
through winter, spring. We're trying. It's
Yeah,
freezing, not cold.
yeah, we're in a phase of life. It's like the end of winter drear.
It's dreary. It's dreary. New York yesterday, not so sunny. Today, I think the sun might come out, but it's at the level of where it's warm enough outside that if you live in an old building that controls your heat, there's no heat on, so it's freezing in my apartment. So that is not bringing me joy, but that's fine. How are you? I love these sunglasses.
Oh, I think there's gonna be an echo.
Oh, is there? I forgot earlier I didn't plug my mic in, but it's plugged in now. And my computer's charged. How are
Let it.
you?
I don't
Morning.
even know where my headphones are.
You're fine. We're getting there. Thank you, Asmara.
Yes, these glasses are the. I'm not even gonna hold you. It's the winter drear. It really sucks being a March Aries because this is like the worst time of the year for me. Pisces season is always rough for me. It's like the end of the year, financially shit always gets tight. It's like I don't follow the Georgian calendar as to say, oh, this is the beginning and the end of the year where like life changes or shifts or transitions or whatever. I feel like that yearly shift happens between March and May.
Yeah,
Like,
for me, yeah. February is always, January is like a fake sense of like, okay, the year's starting over. And so in January, I have a lot of energy. And then by February, it crashes.
I
By
never have
February, I'm like,
energy in January. And in February, I'm always like, oh, it's Black History Month. I should be doing content, but I'm Black History every month. And then it's March, and I'm like, oh, I'm broke.
March, I'm just waiting for Aries season to kick in and for the sun to come out.
Yeah.
Because February is when they take down all of the lights. I'm of the mindset if they kept up the holiday lights, people would feel better. And they should keep the holiday lights up for Black History Month. Oh, there's an echo? Should I take the mic out?
Mm-hmm.
I can just say the
Mm.
same.
What did you do the other day? There wasn't an echo the other day on Monday.
I don't know. No, it was in. It was in on Monday. Let me see. Let me see. What's the call? Oh, you know what? That's because the mic was plugged in, but it wasn't working. Now it's on, so now it should be fine. Now is there an echo?
Hmm.
Dang. Oh, it's bad too, apparently. Let me just unplug it. No, because then it was still there because that was it unplugged with just the MacBook. Oh Lord. Hold on. Technical difficulties. 2 seconds. We're gonna get through it. Why is it still winter? Every day winter. I'm tired.
Hold
It's
on.
cold. And I'm like, ugh.
Okay. I reset my echo cancellation. Now talk.
Hello.
There's still an echo. Um,
Oh,
I need to clean my office. Everything is everywhere, and I already know I couldn't find my headphones.
hmm. I mean, where? Oh, child, the headphones not even in here. Let me see. Let me see. We can try with my headphones. Let me turn off the Bluetooth on my phone. Okay, let me go get my headphones and see if that works.
You know, I think the thing is we just need to get Stephanie a better streaming setup
Oh!
with a better mic
Let's see.
so that
Pull up my raggedy headphones. Doo, doo, doo. It's gonna mess up my hair. Okay.
That's why I was like,
Hold
I
on.
don't want to put headphones on.
It's pairing. Hold on. System preferences. Wait,
I
where is
think
it? Hmm. Let's
technical
see.
difficulties.
Okay. Let me get it to connect.
Yeah, I really don't know where my headphones are.
Now it's connected. Does it sound better now?
No, there's still an echo.
Oh, that's crazy. Well, I might as well take them off then. So then.
You can in fact take them off. There's still an echo.
No, I can't hear you. Hold on. Turn this off. Okay, now I can hear you. All right. It's still there?
I don't know what the no means. Somebody just said no.
No, there. They're like, no, it's not working, girl.
Let me go get my other headphones. That's what the problem is. It's me. I have to go get headphones. Woo woo
Listen, I
woo.
tried.
You
I
did. I'll
tried.
be right back.
How are y'all? Listen, we need to keep who had it on I think it was Jessie Boo had it on her Instagram where I don't think it was her Christmas tree. I think it was her boyfriend's Christmas tree was still up in February and she was filming what was she filming? I think she was showing her reaction to the Super Bowl halftime performance. And so people are like, is this Christmas tree still up? And she's like, this is a Black History Christmas tree now. A Black History tree. And I was like, you know what? We should do that. I like that. Because if not, oh, the echo is gone. See, Kayla said the echo is gone. There is no echo. It's done. You can sit down now. We can start.
I can still see it on my side, so I think it will
Oh,
come
you
back.
can? Oh, I was
Yeah.
like, I don't hear it at all.
I have a sound bar. I can see the sound levels.
Oh, very professional. I love these Stunt Queen sunglasses. They go with the theme. But yeah, I think we should keep the holiday lights on February. I think it would lift people's spirits. Because March is always like that hopeful month of like, I know the sun will find me, but she hasn't yet. It was warm in New York on Monday though. I did sit out in the sun. Or Tuesday? Maybe it was Tuesday. It was
I
nice.
hate that this got rid of the echo. Yeah.
It did on your end.
Yeah.
You still look cute.
Mm. This is not the vision I had in my head, but here we are nonetheless.
I feel like it's a good throwback to your New York days. Like you're about to spin a DJ set. Not the winter getting to you when it's warmer in Charlotte.
Is it? I
Ah,
think it's
you know what? That's a good point.
I
Is
it,
it?
I think it's the jarring effect of going from Trinidad to the United States. You know what I mean? Like going from Carnival to
True.
Trump's America. It's just like so much.
Jumped out at the airport.
And it's really grad school. You know, one of us is in grad school, one of us isn't.
Yeah, no. I remember that.
And I just need to go ahead.
And you're working through grad school. So kudos to you.
You can't, in this context, using Bluetooth while you live stream is hard because it adds an extra delay. I just think the audio quality doesn't translate. You know, that's why when you see the podcast interviews, people always have on ear headphones on. You need to be able to
Mhm.
plug them into your system. It just is what it is. I could, yeah, it is what it is. Oh, thank you. You know what? I thought when I was doing it today, I was like, I think I put 210 instead of 310 on the previous live. Y'all still watched it, so shout out to y'all. But yeah, let's get into this. Welcome. It is Thursday, March 13th, 2025, and this is Politics Pops. I'm Julesy, with my
And
seasonal
I'm
depression.
and I'm allegedly Stephanie with my waning seasonal depression. Sitting outside did help. I sat outside for 30 minutes in the sun.
I
Very
have
peaceful,
I
very
have
calm.
allergies. I have very bad allergies. Like it's like it really sucks how pretty outside is, and it's like I cannot sit outside.
Dang. My allergy season in New York for me doesn't kick in till the cherry blossoms come out in like April, May. They're not out yet. They're still asleep. So I'm like, please.
Stephanie's sweater is from Hanifa, and I personally feel like we should have just worn the same sweater.
You didn't want to put it on. We could have been matching.
Hold on, I'm
Comes
gonna
with.
go get it.
Are you gonna? You should put it on. It comes with very long sleeves, which I don't know whose arms are ever this long, and it's kind of fun when it's winter. You can cover your hands up with them, but from a practical standpoint, I usually just cuff it. So that we all know. But yeah, this is a great sweater. Hanifa makes great knits. I've had this for a couple years. I just hand wash it, and then it's lasted really well. And it keeps you it's very warm though, I will say, because it's freezing in here, it's appropriate. If it is less, if it is more than 55 degrees outside, wearing this outside will make you sweat. Less than 55 is fine. More than 55, you will be sweating because it is like very thick. Like, it's thick. So I enjoy it. So she's coming. We're getting her a slow roll into the news. Don't worry. The levity section is lasting longer than usual. But sometimes you need that. Because with everything going on, I am just, to be honest, at a standpoint of like, oh, wow, this is a lot happening. So yes. And also the color, I think maybe the first two times I washed
Here we
it.
go.
How cute are you?
Now we're both matching.
And you can see it on different shades. I find that this, what is this, like a Kelly green, a hunter
I
between a
just
Kelly
never
green and a
wear
hunter
it because
green?
the sleeves are too long.
Just roll the stuff down.
But they
It
fall
matches
back
great
down.
on
It'll stay up.
all shades of melanin. It matches really good. It looks so cute. And it goes good with gold earrings. I love a green and gold. Personally.
You know, I do somehow end up wearing a lot of green, but yes, we have mine's a
Yeah.
little tighter because I bought mine's like 5 years ago and then had a kid.
It still fits good. It still
Yeah,
fits good.
you
And it's
know,
technically like a crop, but if you wear something high waisted, like you can.
I have a little. Yeah, there we go.
Lots of ways to wear it. If
There
you
she
want to have it
is.
out of the crop and show off the belly.
Why does my
It's
neck
from
look so
Hanifa.
short
Hey, Corey.
though? And yours looks so long.
Because I fold mine down more because I look funny when my neck is in thing. My head is too round.
It like you
It's like,
know what I mean?
I have a picture in it with it. Like it's more comfortable this way, and in person it looks fine, but like in pictures, it just looks like your head is just floating around all your body.
Okay, well, now you get two different beige versions of the
Yeah,
wearing the green Hanifa.
we need to show with brown skin and the darker complexions as well. It looks beautiful in my opinion on all types of melanin shades. I think Kelly Green would also look good if you lean towards the pale side as well. I think this is one of the few colors that looks good on all shades of people, in
Yeah,
my opinion. It's
yeah.
like a universal color.
Shout out to the Black women brands.
Yes. Shout out to the Black women brands with good quality. Because again, she's had this for like 5 years. I've had this, I think, 3 or 4 years.
Yeah,
Great
I bought this in
quality.
2020. I bought it during the pandemic when I was spending money like I was in the mafia because I thought I was gonna have money forever.
I bought it on sale. You already know me. I stalked it for like
I did too,
7
but she does like a sale every 6 months.
She does. So if you want something from Hanifa, I always like put like a wish list and then like I check back every once in a while and then it's on sale. So
Yeah, I just
as
wish
long
her
as we have
size.
patience.
I wish her sizing was more consistent.
Mm.
But
The only thing that I ever bought that didn't fit, I have like a bright pink. It's like a weird fabric. It's lycra or something. When I took it to dry cleaner, they're like, "Don't buy this ever again." It's beautiful and it's shiny, but
it's the
it's
white and
very
orange
heavy.
dress.
No, not that one. It's like a bright, borderline like fuchsia pink set. And it's really comfortable. I wore the top last week when you
Oh,
weren't
the
here.
you know what? I
Yeah.
have it in my I have it in the closet with the tag still on it.
So the top is great. The pants are the problem because the pants literally weigh almost 4 pounds.
They're
So it
heavy.
breaks from the elastic, and the first time I tried them on, it ripped, and I was like, oh no.
I got it on sale for like 60
Yeah,
bucks, but I'm just like,
it's
it
beautiful.
doesn't
I wear it anyway.
make sense. I don't like it feels like
Yeah.
polyester.
It's lycra, and it's like very
I think I
heavy.
might sell it. I have the tags
You
on
should.
it.
I
I've
enjoy it.
never
I wear
worn
it with the
it.
whole limit. Yeah, it's gonna rip. The minute you put it on, because it's so, if you have a behind, it's so heavy that your behind will stretch it a little bit. And it's not that it doesn't fit, it's that the fabric is too heavy and it's just gonna rip. But because the top is so long, nobody will see. So I wear it as the set and nobody knows, but I can't wear the pants by themselves. And I've gotten them restitched twice. And I'm like, well, there's no point to keep fixing it. So I just wear it. But yeah.
Oh,
That's other than that, everything else I highly recommend. Particularly the knits are good.
Shop Hanifa. This is a free ad from a legendary company.
I mean, I feel like my closet is a free ad for Hanifa and Koi and Andrea
Styled.
Yama.
You wear a lot of styled.
I only have the one, but I
You
just
only
wear it
have the
all the
one
time.
piece.
Mm-hmm.
I've
Well,
been on Posh.
I had another one from her or them. I don't know who owns that company. They are not black owned, by the way, just for context. The other ones are
No,
black. They do knit very well. Staud does. They don't do. I don't even know what to call it. Like it's like a polyester fake silk. The other one I had,
but
it
all
didn't.
their clothes have. That's my beef with them. Why am I paying $275 for a sweater that's 50% polyester? Cute
Exactly.
design, and you are cheaper than Christopher John Rogers with a similar
They are.
aesthetic, which is why I'm
Yeah.
shopping you. But the 50% polyester at 270, I'll be on Poshmark. I buy all my stuff resale from them,
Yeah.
and I
And
now
that's
own
why.
3 dresses, but they are all
Ooh.
polyester.
I wait. They do a sample sale twice a year too, so I just wait for the sale.
Okay,
Because again, I'm not going to pay that money for polyester either.
I'm
This,
sure the
I think there's
folks are
wool in this.
over our clothing talk.
Oh, sorry. They're like, where is the news? The news is clothes
Which
will be more
it
expensive
it
because of
does it
tariffs.
does fly into there's this whole conversation on TikTok about like black creators and the pay gap, which happens every
Ooh.
year. We have this conversation, and it started off because this white gay guy Brandon, who's like, I made $700,000 last
I
year
see that.
on TikTok. He doesn't even have, well, he now has a million, but he didn't have a million followers beforehand. And it is
Mhm.
incredibly difficult for black creators to make that kind of income without being exceptional and having extraordinary numbers. And so it kicked off this whole conversation about, well, black creators with larger followings are not making that kind of money. And
No.
he comes back and he talks about all the black creators he likes. And he says, you know, the thing is, you have to have a diverse audience. Basically, say you need to have a white audience because white women,
Oh, that's what he said? I did not
yeah,
see that.
he's like, white women shop. And I'm like, you have never met an
No.
elder black millennial Gen X
No.
woman who shops like she's in the motherfucking mafia, okay?
No.
Who is Tabitha
And
Brown?
brunches,
And what
like
is
Jordan
Tabitha
Pickett.
Brown's brand loyalty right now? Like, let's be clear about who's driving that. I think the point of the conversation that always gets missed, and I need to do a Patreon video about this, whiteness is aspirational by almost every community.
Mm.
I don't think white women have more buying power. I think that if you talk to white women, everybody buys into it.
Yeah, and I think particularly white women, while they might like something from a black brand, which I always find interesting. So like I get a lot of compliments on this sweater. And then whenever I say like, oh, it's from Hanifa, oh, I've never heard of that brand on their face is always interesting because I'm comparably Hanifa is like mid-tier luxury brand. I would say like technically if you're paying full price, great quality. I don't believe in full price because it's expensive, but great quality, all of that. So objectively, like if you are a fashion girly in New York, regardless of your race, you should know what Hanifa is, but they
No.
never know. And it's not because they don't like it, it's because white people aspire to buy from white brands that they think are more recognizable to everyone else versus black women will support black brands. But in general, if I like something, I'm like, oh, I'm
I'm
buying it
still gonna
because of the
buy
aesthetic.
it.
I don't care that there's a logo on it. I care that the quality is good and that I like it and that it looks good on me and it fits. And I think it's interesting that his point was to be dismissive instead of just acknowledging
I don't
the
think
truth.
I think he feels like he's doing something valiant. I don't think he realizes
Oh,
what that comment actually meant.
interesting.
Um and the fact that like you're just embracing white supremacy. And there's a bunch of
Yeah.
black people that are like applauding him in his comment. And I'm just like, you know, it
Mm,
is simply that whiteness is aspirational. And
Yeah.
seeing something on a thin white body is always going to sell to a broader audience than an identifiable body. You know what I mean? Like it just is what it is in the way that white supremacy is a global problem, you know? I
I
don't
think
know.
something that comes to mind is too like when oh, I don't even know the young woman's name. Is like one of the largest TikToker. Oh, Alex Earl, I think. I think that's her name. Blonde. When she started promoting Miel, and then all of a sudden, white women wanted to use Miel, and I was like, oh, if the product was made for you and worked for you in the first place, like, why didn't you want to use it when somebody else was using it? I was always like very interested.
Because we're socialized to see whiteness as aspirational.
Mm,
People aren't socialized to see blackness as aspirational and to buy into the things we have.
yeah. Even though they like how it
They
looks, like,
need
it would look good on them, they need the white representation of like, okay, well, if a white person has it, then it's expensive, it's luxurious, it's this. When ah,
yes, yes.
is it really? Is it really? It's just fascinating to me.
Uh,
But yeah, the greater wealth gap is giant. And keeping with transparency, because we were talking about taxes earlier, last year I made like around 90K, which is good, but also for like the amount of labor, I'm like, oh, this is like very
90K
different.
gross or 90 net? That was your net?
Gross, gross.
Oh.
I know. Which is like,
Oh.
exactly. And to live in New York and compared to my
Oh.
lawyer salary, I'm like, oh, this is not going to work, which is why I'm like, I gotta put my big girl panties on and take my behind back to corporate and to go back to doing both, which is fine. But I think people see like these super huge, inflated, exception to the rule numbers, such as the young man you were talking about. The majority of creators, I think it's 60% of full time creators make less than 50K.
Oh no,
Like, it's
I
low.
gross like 130.
Co-
Don't
Proud of you.
clap. That's gross, girl. Do not clap for that shit. Don't clap.
It's more than my gross. But I think these transparent conversations are needed because people see like, oh, everything looks good. Like you have the makeup on, you look happy, etc. And I'm like,
And the
ah,
girls are paying for their lifestyle on credit cards,
well,
and there's so much debt because you think about the production, the editing, the like the
they're living under
clothes,
pressure. Yeah.
like all these wealth markers that like influencers are informed that they have to have in order to have an audience that will truly engage with them and
Hmm.
engage with them in a way where brands will see them as valuable. And so for black women, that does often mean that most of the time we're going to try to feed into this very binary box of influencer and be like a wealthy luxury lifestyle influencer with a if even if you're not skinny, the waist is still the smallest and the stomach is still flat,
It's giving BBL allegations.
you
Shout out to
know,
Tanika.
Tanika, but you are still engaging in like, you can't wear the same outfit twice. You need to
Mhm.
have fashions and you need to get a photographer for the Instagram pictures. And then your hair has to be a certain way and your skincare has to be a certain way. And all those things come with such big costs. And then your nails have to be done and your teeth have to be, cleaned or not,
Mhm.
if not composite veneered themselves. And then lashes, brows.
That's expensive. Yeah. I do have microblading. I got it done 3 years ago now. The woman that did it did such a great job because I'm like, oh, I should have had to gone back already, but they're still on my eyebrows.
Yeah. Well, let's get into the news. I
We'll get
know.
into
We're like avoiding it. Like it's so tough. Ah, Trump is still president. We were talking earlier about like how different do you believe life would be if Kamala Harris was the president? And what stops my imagination is that I don't think Kamala Harris being president would be enough.
no.
I would need Congress to not be controlled by the Republicans. And so it's for me, it's like, what would life be like if Kamala Harris won the election and Democrats won the majority in the House of Representatives and key Senate races were won by the Democrats, And if the North
Gubernatorial races.
Carolina state well, we got a Democrat governor. We did the top 5 positions in
Mm.
the North Carolina state government are Democrat controlled, but we still have a Republican controlled state legislature, and they do the budget for the state. Um, and on my birthday, I'm to be down to Raleigh talking to one of the caucuses because I'm like, the fuck is going on, y'all? Get it together. But
There you go.
you know what I mean? Like I could think about a much better life if like all these pieces.
It would have hinged on more than just the presidential race. I think the thing that people are wanting to ignore is the fact that what we're seeing federally happen. So, like the dismantling of the Department of Education has been happening in multiple states that we're talking about. Like the Texas education system is screwed. The Florida system is on its way to being screwed. Like multiple states have already essentially dismantled and tried to privatize.
And then
Um,
voucher programs with the private
mhm.
schools, yeah.
Arizona has a complete statewide voucher program, which takes away money from the public education system. I think the only thing that her presidency would have been extremely different, there would obviously be no random rogue South African. That random rogue South African running around, that is the wild card I don't think anyone expected.
Yeah.
And the level of public theater that comes with him and the blood pressure raising is completely tied to this outcome.
Federal workers would not be getting fired for
No,
sure.
they would not. They would not. Um,
And you know the biggest difference would be there would be parties.
there would
There would
be
be
a level of
parties.
black excellence of let's have our toxic egregious joy without
You
the rest of
know,
y'all.
and so there would be a lot of open bars.
Yes, I think your
And
130K would make it, and my 90K would be like, no, we need you to hit back the six figures. You cannot come to our party.
I would only get to go because I'm in a D9 organization. I think that it would be like a black middle class respectability politics would be like on 100,000, and there would be a lot of events happening.
Mhm.
And I do enjoy a good cocktail and a pretty dress. I'm not gonna hold you. Like if I was somebody is gonna revoke my attempts to be radical card, and in this moment you can take it. I definitely think there would be a different energy. I do think at the state level, a lot of what is happening at the federal level is truly devastating because there's this entire, and I've said this for a very long time, there's this entire apparatus at the state level that Republicans control and they've been focused on for the past 3 decades to make
Mhm.
this moment what it is.
Yes. Yes. And again, one president would not undo the fact that Trump, as when he was in the White House, that he appointed large blocks of federal judges. We would still have this judicial problem. The SCOTUS problem would still be there. So it's not like a magical cure all of like, oh, an alternate reality with Kamala Harris, everything would be so much better. It would not be this level of public theater. We would have other issues of galvanizing people to realize like, hey, we still sliding into fascism. The slide is a little slower and the slide is less Teslas on the lawn, but the slide is still sliding. Um, so yeah, but it is something I've been thinking about because I'm like, oh my gosh.
It's just the anxiety that comes with this time period and like such uncertainty about what the future actually holds, and how do we prepare ourselves for where we want to place ourselves in that uncertain future. Kind of scary. There's no levity in that. Okay, but
We're
let's
past
start
levity.
off a little discussion about resistance with a federal worker who went rogue and was fighting for the people.
Yes, I wanted to include some moments. I think with all the political theater going on, it's very easy and understandable to feel overwhelmed. I feel extremely overwhelmed. And I wanted to show that people are fighting back and people are putting their livelihood on the line and also are willing to fight for what this place is supposed to be and what this place has never lived up to for what it's worth. And this woman here is a great example. So if we scroll down a little bit, actually, I can't see good. I don't want to see that man right now. Just keep going down. Okay, so she works for the EOC. The EOC, of course, has been co opted by another blonde appointee that is very much campaigning the EEOC now to champion cases against quote unquote reverse racism, which is a very wild thing to say. And essentially, her last name is Ortiz. What was her first name again? I want to make sure I say
Karen.
this. Karen Ortiz. So this is Karen Ortiz, who works for the EEOC. She wrote an email directly to the new appointee of the EOC, and she wrote the email after she had received the fork in the road email, which that email is, to be noted, essentially like illegal takeover by Elon Musk's fake department called DOGE that is not federally mandated. And that fork in the road is when he sent the email to all of the EEOC government employees, as well as other departmental government employees, stating, hey, you can either take this payout or you could just quit this job, which he is not authorized to do. So she then wrote back to the acting chair, Andrea Lucas, who is currently in charge of the EEOC, and she copied more than 1,000 of her EEOC colleagues into the email. And she said she changed a subject line to "a spoon is better than a fork." And she stated in the email, I know I take great personal risk in sending out this message, but at the end of the day, my actions align with what the EEOC was charged with doing under the law. I will not I will not compromise my ethics and my duty to uphold the law. I will not cower to bullying and intimidation. Ortiz is just one person, but her email represents a larger pushback against the Trump administration's sweeping changes to federal agencies amidst the environment of confusion, anger, and chaos. And I think highlighting her shows, because a lot of people are like, what are we supposed to be doing? Like, we're going to do this boycott and that boycott and this. And other people, on top of being able to boycott, like, there's always something you can do. And calling a spade, I think, is like the first step of, okay, if you're going to fire me anyway, one, I don't agree with this. Two, this is illegal. Three, I don't consent. And four, I'm going to outline like what actually the law is super helpful. So wanted to highlight that. It also, in terms of something that we've been talking about for a couple of weeks, the harm done under this administration at best lasts for the next decade. And that's the best case scenario if in 2 years we focus on the first level of pushing back, which is electoral politics. It's not the end all be all, but the first level of changing the congressional makeup. If we don't change the congressional makeup in 2 years, at worst, this is like a 20, 30-year problem. So I hope that, will light a fire under our behinds to get our Congress people to actually do their job. Because I'm like, if that's the best case scenario, this is not resolving till I'm in my mid 40s. At best. At best. Because you can't fire, it's going to end up being hundreds of
I'm
thousands
about
of
to be
people.
40. You remember those like 100 years of beauty that the Cut channel used to do? And it'd be like showing how beauty is tied to politics. And you would go through like several decades
Mm.
of like drear. And be like, damn, somebody really spent 30 years of their life living under really harsh political, what is it, political environments. And that's supposed to
Mm-hmm.
be our life. I'm going to be
I rebuke
70.
that.
I'm going to be 70 when shit gets better.
It's like the Great Depression, why everything is gray and everyone looks gray. And I'm like, whoa, there's a
I would
lot
like
of
to
gray.
clock out. I want to clock out so fucking bad.
I think we keep our Hanifa on and,
I need to sell this city for fuck that. I need some coin. How am I gonna survive?
that's the first part.
I wanted to talk. You talked about resistance. I'm going to talk about the chaos and who the chaos agents are. ProPublica posted this piece last week um, about the acting Social Security Commissioner Leland Dudick, who portrayed his agency as facing peril while encouraging patience with the Doge kids. And this is a little herb. Dudick embodies the dramatic whipsawing of life as a public servant under Doge. For 25 years, he was the ultimate faceless bureaucrat, a mid-level analysis analyst who had bounced between federal agencies, ultimately landing at the Social Security Administration and focusing on information technology, cybersecurity, and fraud prevention. He was largely unknown even within the agency, but in February he suddenly vaulted into the public eye when he was put on leave for surreptitiously, is that how you say it?
Surreptitiously
Surreptitiously sharing information with DOGE, meaning he went ahead and was
and
like,
committed fraud.
Doge, here you go. Don't worry about my bosses who are saying no. Let me open the door for you. It appeared that he might lose his job, but then he unexpectedly was promoted by the Trump administration to the position of acting commissioner. At the time, he seemed unreservedly committed to the DOGE agenda, writing, then deleting a bellicose LinkedIn post in which he expressed pride in having bullied agency executives, shared executive contact information, and circumvented the chain of command to connect DOGE with the people who get stuff done.
The cult of personality that foreign man that does not belong here has is so fascinating to me that regular, degular, faceless, to the article's point, white Americans are willing to risk their good government job to commit fraud again for somebody that does not even go here. And that's what I find so fascinating, because like these are the same people of like, we're American, we're blah, 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 all their foolishness and all of their rewriting of history to essentially give all of that away to someone who has admitted that they illegally overstayed their visa, that they do not have any type of whatever America, white Americans think are American values, is so fascinating to watch. It's so fascinating to watch to me. Committing fraud when you are in charge of making sure that no fraud occurs, it's illegal. I think it's important to call out that all these things are
Let
illegal.
me
There's a
let me let me read
jail.
this last part. In the meeting last week, Dudek was asked about many of these organizational changes, according to a recording, regarding the closure and consolidation of regional offices, as well as the cuts to parts of the agency that help evaluate disability claims, which is already severely backlogged. He said it certainly was done at the administration level. That would not have been my first preference. I think we need to see what's going to happen in terms of fallout. Again, I work for the president. DOGE is part of that. Dudek, who had been scheduled to speak for only 15 minutes, instead spoke for about an hour, talking about everything from his upbringing by a disabled mother who depended on Social Security to a 1989 book titled Bureaucracy that mentions Trump. He continued to facilitate between sharing advocates' concerns for vulnerable Social Security recipients and sticking up for some of what DOGE has been trying to do as an agency. I actually like having the kids around, he said.
Oh no. No. Okay.
They were unfamiliar with the nuances of Social Security. He was trying to get them to be more thoughtful. They're thinking about work differently. He confirmed that DOGE team members had broad access to American Social Security numbers and other personal data, but he claimed that if they were to do anything illegal with that information, he'd have them investigated and potentially prosecuted. Doesn't this feel so great and amazing? Like, this is so good to hear from a federal government agency that oversees the Social Security and the monies that come with that for millions of Americans.
It's the fact that people, I don't think holistically people are getting mad enough about the Social Security issue. Social Security is not like a kindness of the government. You pay into Social Security from the time, I think the average American starts a job at like 16. I think in my first job I was like 14. From the time you file taxes, you pay into Social Security. You can look up on ssa.gov, and you should every year just save it for your records. Your accountant will tell you to do that. You can look up every year how much you made, how much you paid into Social Security. It will give you the tracker of what you should receive at 62, 67, and 72. I think those are the ages of like if you take early Social Security, you take it on time or you take it late. And then the later you take it, the more money you're supposed to get. What they don't tell people is this country is stressing you out, so you're more likely to die. So it would behoove you to take it earlier, depending on your health. This is objectively, the whole thing is illegal. That I can't get past the whole thing being illegal and him just ha 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 ha. I like the kids. I like the kids who are illegally accessing all your information because I illegally gave it to them.
Well, moving on.
It's just like this is a great thing to move on to.
And this cannot be real life news. We have Donald Trump on the White House, turning the White House lawn into a Tesla showroom because Tesla stock is plummeting.
First of all, ruining that good green grass that the gardening team has worked so hard on is just rude. This is so tacky. Fascism is so tacky. This Tesla truck is tacky. His orange tan that he refuses to blend in properly with a beauty blender is tacky.
It's just an
Also,
ugly car. I don't trust anybody who buys this car and
no.
like drives it around. Like, why?
It's also, this is all, again, back to everything is illegal. This is also illegal to promote your non-governmental employee friend stock that you are also invested in because you are enriching yourself. That is why when you become the president, also I think various parts of government, you're supposed to divulge what you're invested in and you are supposed to remove yourself from certain things because you're not supposed to profit off of the presidency, which we all learned the first time that's his whole plan anyways, to profit off of the presidency.
Crazy work. Crazy work. Honestly, truly.
I hate this.
I don't know. I don't know. Stephanie, what do we do? Because,
I
Trump also. Okay, but maybe this might be like the USDA where they all came back to work. They got laid off and then they had to come back to work.
US aid, also the white farmers being like, wait a minute, I'm on aid, hold on. It's like you've been on welfare and you voting against your like the place is called US aid. Where did you think the money was going? It was going to you.
And then it's crazy because people are coming out as Trump voters on TikTok and then like they're like, I don't think people that like are fans of Trump or that voted for Trump are watching this in any sort of horror. Like, this makes
No.
so much sense to them. And they feel validated in their vote for him because he is doing this.
It it's interesting, and it's back to the article we talked about on Monday, which is that collective whiteness will cut off their nose to spite their face. And while I always knew this, I did not know to this extent that they were willing to suffer themselves to be like, ha! But all you brown and black and not white people, you're suffering too.
You nigger.
You and I can say it out loud, so I feel better that my house got repossessed, my child is dunce because I can't send them to school, and my farm is also repossessed. Like, what is wrong in the brain? What is wrong in the brain? They are trying to dissolve the Department of Education, so they have laid off half illegally, again, illegally laid off half of the Department of Education workforce. They are basically going to make it inoperable,
But
and
there's
then
going to be a
Trump is going to,
lawsuit about this. There's going to be, and like
oh
this, like I don't. This is not. This can't happen. And Linda McMahon has acknowledged that they can't just shut down the Department of Education
no.
as quickly as they want to. They are going to face judicial barriers to this. I just don't like. There's nothing to
But are
understand.
those judicial barriers going to be fast enough? Is my problem. And because our judicial system is slow, and because Trump has bought a decent amount of our judicial system, even if they say, okay, we are putting a temporary injunction, and then it goes to appellate court and they say, okay, put these people back at their jobs, that amount of time that passes will already cause the harm. I'm looking up on Democracy Now. Sorry, excellent news source as always. And what they specifically called Linda McMahon, I thought was hilarious because again, they have all these people that don't have no qualification. So let me pull this up real quick. Where there's so much news going on that, oh, here we go. So, and quote, newly confirmed Education Secretary Linda McMahon, the billionaire former professional wrestling promoter, says the cuts show her commitment to efficiency and accountability.
Mm.
I don't know who was worse, her being in this position or Betsy DeVos, the head of an MLM empire who also had no experience in the education department, being the Secretary of Education last time, which she ushered in school vouchers. So these Trump Secretary of Education agendas, they do have very long lasting power. And that is what I think is the issue. Because while our judicial system, some of the judges have been trying and they've been blocking things, the end all be all is once you go through the court system is SCOTUS. And I don't have an ounce of faith in SCOTUS and the Roberts court. Not an iota. Not a thread of wool
But
faith.
I think, you know, I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. We just have to move on.
I do want to talk about one thing, which is the other side of this, of to your point of Trump followers are cheering all this on despite the
Yeah.
fact that they are being impacted, which is nonsensical. A lot of them, I have noticed, have been stating like, what did the federal Department of Education do anyway? Instead of realizing that shows their ignorance about how their own government, their taxpayer money functions, they're using it trying to pretend that the federal Department of Education doesn't do things, which is incorrect. The federal Department of Education ensures that there's no discrimination, whether that's socioeconomic, race, religion,
Disability.
gender, disability in the school system. So if you have a child with special needs, the Department of Education on the federal level is
Who's
ensuring.
doing your IEP?
Thank you.
Like, I
You
don't know. This is crazy.
Yes. Like you, everyone is benefiting from the federal Department of Education. Also, the federal Department of Education is there, and we have huge segregation issues in our public school system. They would be even worse without the federal Department of Education. They are also the owner of our student loans. They're administered through private student loan providers. Without the federal Department of Education, our student loans don't magically go away. We're getting get sold to a private company, aka Sally Mae. I do not want Sally Mae to be my overseer. I have had one Sally Mae student loan and it was the worst experience of my life.
Oh, baby. They've gotten so many lawsuits for their
And they love to
shenanigans.
shenan
Just
again
hack
and again.
my student loans. Like, where are the hackers?
You need to make white hat hacker friends.
Why are
We're
you
on
not
Twitch.
making life
This is an
easier right now? What is going on? Okay, now as we move on to the next topic, universities across the U.S. freeze hiring as federal funding hangs in balance. Universities rely, universities kind of ascend the accreditation um, poll and their rankings by doing more research. And that research is largely funded through the federal government. And so when you get tenure, especially at like a state school or something, or like a research institution, you are expected to bring in a certain number of grants and research funding to the school to help facilitate the research you're doing. And this federal funding essentially then becomes part of the apparatus of how professors are getting paid.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And with the it's and Trump is talking out of both sides of his mouth and his ass. Like at one moment we're getting rid of the Department of Education, but we're not getting rid of funding for these things, even though there's clearly an agenda on the part of Republicans because they see colleges as bastions of liberalism, that they like it's woke education that they want to get rid of.
Which is ridiculous because science, they don't even know what the word woke is. We have established that over and over again. They have taken the word, run with the word, and used woke as a dog whistle for anything that is not white and mostly black. That's how they feel about it. They can't say the N word yet, keyword on yet, so they're just using that. Same thing with DEI. What they are doing is so, I don't want to say frightening, but fascinating and just like, wait, is everyone wearing a dunce cap? Without funding of the sciences, without funding of Johns Hopkins University came to mind, 80% of the money Johns Hopkins University receives goes to, they are the largest research university in this country. It also props up, they are the number one private employer in the entire city of Baltimore. You
Oh.
will you will literally tank entire economies and therefore the American economy if you do not fund these things. Without
Mm.
science, so many more people would have unfortunately been impacted, fatally impacted by COVID. Science is the reason that ensures that you live a better quality of life. Their deep rooted allergy and a hatred of anything having to do with science is fascinating, even when it's helping them. We are having now measles outbreaks in Texas, and
That was now the New York Daily podcast. Their episode yesterday was on the community, and the people are not gonna, even after getting measles, they're still not gonna vaccinate.
that it was eradicated. And I'm like, you're bringing back a disease that's very harmful to your child who has no say in this. Why? What would what would possess you to do such a thing? Why? And I think understanding the why, there is no why. You can't reason with nonsense. But it's so interesting to see now you have even schools like Harvard, who has the largest endowment in the world, saying, oh, we might have to cut back because we're losing funding. And to that, I don't think anybody really should feel bad for like a Harvard or Columbia, et cetera, who's being threatened to lose $400 million of their grants, because these schools have shown throughout the protests for Palestine that they don't give a damn about the students. They have such large endowments. What is the endowment for besides you bragging? I don't know who
You
that
got
is.
you got company.
No. Besides you bragging to the other Ivy League alumna, you need to use the endowment then. Who I feel bad for is the state schools that depend on this money. That's who I feel bad for, because the
Do you
majority of people go to state
do
schools.
you feel bad for Columbia?
This is fascinating to me because what Trump, the administration, is trying to say, they are canceling Columbia's grants because, and quote, which again, they have changed the definition of words because Columbia is, and quote, anti-Semitic. That is not only untrue,
Oh,
it flies in the face
wow.
of reality. Yes, it flies in the face of reality that Columbia has gone above and beyond to terrorize, harass, and at this point, they have allowed one of their students to be kidnapped and
Whoa.
deported for supporting Palestine. Anti-Semitic wear. It's Columbia, and it's to show that when you side with white supremacy doesn't care because they just want more and more, and they're going to punish you regardless.
This is
Columbia,
insane.
it's insane. Columbia administration has gone out of their way to make Palestinian students and pro-Palestine supporters on their campus feel so unwelcome that this would be laughable. This would be laughable. They did all of this, alienated their student body for what? To still be like, you're not fascist enough for me. Give me that money.
This is crazy work.
Crazy work. Crazy
Oh
work. Their
my
last president
gosh.
resigned. This one will probably have to resign.
We're in the twilight zone.
And also, Columbia tuition is so expensive that if I was a parent or a student or anybody that was paying that tuition, the way Columbia has treated students, oh, the camera said no, it just turned off.
Oh,
The
you're
way
frozen. Stephanie, we need you to get new
I don't know
technology. What?
it was right. It's charged. I don't know what the problem is. I don't know.
Oops, I just kicked her out. My bad. Well, we could end it here anyway. There she goes as she comes back.
Hold
Steph-
on. And then
Steph-
it logged me out. Okay, I'm
Steph-
back. Hold on. It's coming. Is it gonna work? It didn't like what I said. I'm here.
Girl, we gotta get
Like
you
what
new
I said.
equipment. How does your camera just go off? You don't have a
I mean,
permanent battery plugged into it?
I do. It's literally the permanent battery plugged into the wall. The battery's not dead.
Oh.
It's the NYPD child.
Eric Adams is coming for you.
If I ever saw that man in real life, like y'all will see me on the 5 o'clock news.
With
I'm
Molly
gonna
Wapple with a bat.
accidentally A fool of a man. Dang. But
Okay.
anyways, I think I made my point anyways. I've lost my train of thought.
Yeah, to do all
Takes it
that
off.
and participate in fascism and white supremacist politics just to get got by the same government you were trying to appease, it's
Woo!
crazy, nasty work. But my thing is like, look,
That's why I can't feel
we're
bad for them.
clearly in a time that has to lead towards the V word, right? And,
Violence.
and like we are in like this stuff does happen like calmly.
People are gonna get fed up. People are getting fed up, rightfully, and people are gonna realize like,
It doesn't need to be people. It needs to be like a small like agitation happens in pockets. I just that's what I have to remind myself.
mm,
Agitation happens in pockets. And
that's
we
back to.
just
Oh, go first. Sorry.
it's like people think of like Karl Marx as though he was like commanding like large rooms of like the population. No. That man lived on the fringe. And so I don't know. I just don't know. I'm a little fearful that like the next 2 decades of my life are gonna this is what I have to look forward to.
No, this is not what we have to look forward to, because if agitation happens in pockets, this is back to my original plan of, I think our one job as Black people right now is to agitate the whites that you think will go about and do something. I think that is the way. Like, hey, collectively, we're gonna have caused problems. So collectively, to push you into fixing the problems.
Wow. Not your own equipment, Stephanie. Well, I think this is a good time to end here. I need to prepare myself for hot yoga. I'm going to hot yoga. So I'm going to take a nap and I have to nap this off. This was a lot.
I'm proud of
I
you.
need to meditate and maybe hot yoga will help with my sinuses.
A neti pod that you said you were supposed to do per your doctor will help with your sinuses.
You right. I hate that you're right, but you're right. All right, we will see you guys on Monday. Hopefully, good news is coming.
I think good news is coming. That's I mean, what else are we supposed to do besides good news has to be coming, child. Listen, we gotta see it and get angry enough to be like, hey, listen. To Thomas' point, it's only been a month, and that is where I'm just like, oh Lord, a month.
I feel like we just have to keep going and
We
taking
do.
it
What
day
else
by
are we gonna
day.
do? We have to keep going. We have to keep going. The fight for if we look at the long fight for liberation, that took a long time, and people were like, okay, we gotta keep going. So we gotta keep going.
Thank y'all
Listen,
for tuning in. We'll see you on Monday because we're going to keep.
we're gonna keep searching for the good news. It's coming. I believe it. It will come with the spring.
It's going to. Yeah, it will. It will. You're right. You're right.
Speaking of violence does statistically heat up as the weather is warmer. So maybe we will have some, what did
Luigi part 2.
good trouble. We'll have some good trouble come, the heat's gonna come out, and that will encourage people to create good trouble for
Okay.
themselves.
Something to look forward to.
Boom.
See y'all on Monday.
See y'all on
Deuces.
Monday.